welcome to Ready to Race, where we run and talk everything racing. I'm your host, Martise, your Run Faster coach, and today I have the pleasure of running with running blogger Megan Johnston.
Hi guys!
Megan's going to be running the OC Marathon for the first time, so we're going to be talking about how she's getting ready for the race. As you can see behind us, it's a lot of activity going on as people are starting to get their bibs and going to the expo and getting excited about running a PR tomorrow. So here we go. All right, Megan, so this is your first OC Marathon. Last year, or you've run the half before, is that right?
I ran the half once.
Okay.
So I ran the half last year. I actually started as a pacer last year.
Okay.
For a snail space pacing group.
Uh-huh.
This is my first year running the full, so it's a new adventure, at least here in the OC.
Okay, nice. And how was the half? From what I understand, it's like a gorgeous course.
The half is beautiful. Like, it's one of my favorite races in Southern California, for sure. Oceanfront views. You start at Newport's Fashion Island, so you're literally on the water from like mile 0.3 on. You follow the coast, follow the cliffs, and it's just gorgeous. And then you finish at the fairgrounds, which is just a super fun, buzzing, just totally alive atmosphere to finish at. So
okay. Okay, so after you finished, were you like, oh my gosh, I have to run the marathon next year?
I wasn't quite that way.
No?
So this is my fourth full. It's not my first. It's not my first 26.2 by any means. But after I finished the half, I said, all right, I can do this half again. This course is great. And it wasn't until the fall that I was like, you know what? Maybe it's time to try this full.
Oh, nice. So you are actually going to be running your fourth marathon.
Yes.
And today you're here to volunteer for the race.
I am.
So you're busy.
I am busy.
Also, so you're really committed to your running growth journey. You have this awesome blog called Run Megan Run.
Yes.
And it talks about all your like races and your running growth journey.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about it and why did you start the blog?
Sure. So the blog actually started, I moved to Georgia and took a new job out there. The blog actually started, if you go way back in my archive, the blog actually started as my adventure in furniture refurbishing. And just kind of a, hey family, here's how I can keep in touch. Well, I was out in Georgia, I decided I was going to train for my first half. So then I kind of very slowly morphed into a running blog. Updates on how training was going, how things were, races and all that. So that's really where it started, was furniture refurnishing. Oh, really? And teaching myself how to do that. So well, now it's definitely a lot more focused with running. Much more.
And I definitely encourage all of you to check it out. Actually, where could we check out your blog?
Sure. I am at runnermegan.blogspot.com.
Okay, awesome.
And then I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all at Run Megan Run as well.
So for those of us who aren't going to make it to the blog today, why don't we talk about how you're preparing? Because I'm sure on there you've been talking about how you've been preparing
all the time
for tomorrow's race. And so tell us about some of the challenges you've had with training for this race.
Sure. I think the biggest challenge, you said, I'm busy.
All right.
It's now not just training for a full and having the time to do that for long runs and workouts, but it's also, you know, my job. I work at a university, and summer is my busy time, so it's picking up full steam.
Sure.
So it's really my life, work, run balance right now.
And you're getting married.
And I'm getting married. So on top of all that,
we need hearts for that.
Woo!
Megan's getting married.
So this afternoon, actually, after our volunteer shift, we're going to tour 3 venues. So it's a lot of trying to figure it out and make it work. And I think that's been the biggest challenge, regardless if I was training for my first half, my first full, and even now, you know, 50 halves later, it's still making it work with life. And that's hard.
Yeah, and so what's some advice that you can give to people? Because obviously everyone's busy, you know?
Yeah.
And these races take a lot of training, but yet you're still committed to finishing this tomorrow. How are you still able to stay committed?
I think the biggest thing for me, and my biggest piece of advice, is really finding what works for you. For some people, it's getting up at 4 before the kids. I'm really lucky that my only child is a dog. If she goes for a run, she's just happy. If it's a run for me first thing in the morning before the alarm clock goes off, or if it's 7 o'clock at night once I'm home from work, that's what works for me. And so my biggest piece is just figure out what works for you, what works in your life, and how to make best use of your time, but also that you're not exhausting yourself just trying to squeeze it all in. So staying committed, I mean, there are certainly times, like, no doubt, there are times where I'm just like, I don't want to run anymore, I am over it.
Sure.
And that's usually, like, after my last full, so I ran the Phoenix Marathon in February. And my week of recovery was just walking and yoga. That's all I allowed myself to do. And at the end of the week, I was like, okay, I'm ready to run.
Right.
And I was like, that's when I know, like, I did it all right. I gave myself some time off, didn't give myself a hard time for it. And then I was like, okay, I'm ready. Like, let's go.
That's good. Since you're going to be running tomorrow, this is your first time running the marathon, are there any challenges that you're worried about tomorrow for the race?
The biggest thing I've been prepped for is pretty much mile 15 on.
Okay.
You go past the Orange County Fairgrounds, you go up and around Orange Coast College. Then it's just boring.
Oh, really?
It's just boring.
Okay.
Because no one's out there. There are hardly any
So
people.
how are you going to deal with that?
far.
Do you have a plan on how you're going to?
I do have a plan. So thankfully, my super amazing running club, the Inland Empire Running Club, has a tent out at mile 17. So I can look forward after the turnoff after the half marathon or split. I know I only have 5 miles until I see folks that I know, which is super helpful. I also have a really great friend who's coming in the last 3 miles to help run me in. So I'm already very grateful for that, knowing that I have someone to look forward to.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then at some point you just hit that point where you know what? Single digit miles, 9 miles, 8 miles.
Right.
I'm almost done. Let's go.
So the Inland Empire Running Club is who you train with?
I do, yes.
Okay. And how often do you train with them?
I'm out there most Saturdays, work-life pending. But most Saturdays, year-round. They're a phenomenal organization based in Chino Hills, so not far from me. And honestly, an organization I give a lot of credit to for helping me stick with it sometimes.
Sure. Okay, so you feel ready for tomorrow?
I'm ready.
All right, so do you have a goal for the race?
I do, but it's a secret.
Okay. Can you give us a little hint?
It's a massive PR.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and you know what? The weather's supposed to be nicer than what they predicted.
It's going to be great. So the high started at 90 degrees this week, and now it's down to like 68. So
awesome.
I'm
That's
beyond
perfect.
grateful.
Yeah, that's perfect.
For whoever turned on the weather this weekend.
Okay, awesome. Well, we want to wish you good luck and the best wishes for your PR that you're going to get tomorrow. So please let us know so we can post it on social media that you got your PR with your awesome picture with your medal.
You know,
and we'll also be looking out for the blog that you're going to post after the fact about your experiences with the race. If you want to leave us with one last piece of advice for people who are thinking about running either the OC half or the OC marathon, what would you say?
I think specifically for OCs, enjoy it. I mean, there are some killer views. There are 2 killer hills in the half, especially. But for anyone really ready to tackle a race or people questioning it, just do it. Sign up, use it as your motivation, and just get started.
Yeah, because the fact that you were signed up for this race helped you stay committed, even though you have like so many things going on in your life.
So my first 2 fulls were 2 years apart, and now I'm tackling 4 this year alone. So
wow,
I have something definitely to commit to and stick with. If not just to survive.
All right, well, run, Megan, run. That's the name of her blog, by the way. And we will see you next time. If anybody has any questions about how to prepare for your next race, please contact me at ReadyToRace.run. And until next time, keep running, everybody.
Woo! Bye!